Good evening. For those of you that haven't been in Lincoln Hall in a while, I know that response to the teacher is not the norm, but thank you all so much for coming. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Dominic Lupo. I'm the principal here at Lincoln Hall, and we are so excited to have all of you here for two events tonight. The first event that we will be experiencing tonight is a welcome back party for a Lincoln Hall alum, and I'll get to that in just a minute. And the second event tonight is our Spring Awards Band Concert. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our guest of honor. Tonight we have a very special guest, Mr. Todd Sucherman. Todd grew up in Lincolnwood and reflects back on his good times in the district and the impact it had on his musical career. Todd began playing the drums at the age of 2 and professionally at the age of 6 with his older brothers Paul and Joel. He was invited, that is awesome. He was invited to join the Lincoln Hall School Band as a first grader and spent 8 years in the District 74 band program. After a year at Berklee College of Music, he returned back to Chicago. During the 90s, he appeared on over 1,000 recording sessions, many of them radio and television commercials. Todd was asked to play with famous rock band Styx for the reunion tour in 1996 and has been in the band for the past 23 years. Styx was the first band in history to have 4 consecutive triple platinum records in a row. Todd is also known for playing with Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys on his first ever solo tour in 1999. He's appeared on 5 of Brian's records, including one that featured appearances by Paul McCartney, Eric Clapton, and Elton John. Shared the Carnegie Hall stage with Sting, Billy Joel, and James Taylor. Later, he performed at Neil Young's Bridge School benefit, along with Dave Matthews, the Foo Fighters, and many others. Todd has performed in all 50 states, plus 25 countries. His Methods and Mechanics instructional DVDs have won multiple awards in the field of musical education, and at this moment is in the middle of his new online 26-week course, Rock Drumming Masterclass, with thousands of drummers from over 50 countries as his students. Todd has won multiple honors in the Reader's Poll of Modern Drummer Magazine and Drum Magazine, and was recently nominated for Modern Drummer Magazine's Hall of Fame. At this time, Lincolnwood School District 74 would like to welcome back famous rock star band Styx drummer Todd Sucherman, Lincoln Hall class of 1983.
Good evening, everybody. It's a tremendous honor for me to be here tonight and to help celebrate Lincolnwood School District 74's 75th anniversary. I was happily here for 10 of those years. It's wonderful to be back literally where everything began for me. I was born and came home to 6744 East Prairie, barely 2 blocks from here. This is also a special night for me because I can't remember the last time that my mother and brothers and I were all in Lincolnwood at the same time. I've long held the notion that we're all dealt a hand of cards when we're born, and one of the great cards I was dealt was being able to grow up in Lincolnwood during the 70s and 80s. It was the glorious days of riding bikes without helmets, and cramming as many loose children as you could into a station wagon to go to a Little League game or birthday party, while parents would smoke with the windows all the way up in the car. It was great. No, seriously, it actually was somehow quite idyllic. I suppose every generation gets to a point, if you're lucky, where one reflects on similar times, and it all of a sudden seems like my old classmates and I are getting to that age. Another lucky card I was dealt in life was being the youngest in a musical family, being the son of accomplished musical parents, as well as being the little brother to amazing musical brothers. My father put himself through medical school playing the drums, so he had a double life. A dietist by day and a big band jazz drummer at night. And he was one of the house drummers at the Shade Breed downtown, and played with everybody. Sammy Davis Jr., Lena Horne, Sophie Tucker, Joey Lewis, and countless other names. My mother was an actress who sang and could play the piano and was in theatrical performances alongside the likes of Burt Reynolds, John Carradine, and a host of other names. So my musical development began at home with supportive parents. My brother Paul took to the piano before I was even born, and my brother Joel began bass guitar when it seemed that I would be a drummer by the age of 2. It was a remarkable way to grow up. We played music. There was always something to talk about. Comedy and music were kings, with sports in a close third place. We'd play catch outside for a while, and we'd go in the house and we'd play music. And I didn't realize how lucky I was to grow up that way. I would go to friends' houses and think, where are your instruments? How can you live this way? By the time Paul and Joel were in Lincoln Hall, I was beginning first grade with Margaret Johnson. Paul and Joel were well ensconced in the junior high band program, led then by Harry Rosenbluth. And back then there was a junior high jazz band ensemble called Chips. Next thing I know is that I'm invited to play drums in the junior high jazz band as a first grader. Well, with Margaret Johnson's recent passing, some memories came flooding back, and one of them was this. On the day that I was expected on my first rehearsal, it was to make the long walk across the field from Todd Hall to the LGI room to play with the jazz band, I panicked. I told Mrs. Johnson, I'm not going to go today. And somehow she convinced me that I must, and got me to take that long walk while holding a pair of drumsticks, and gave me the courage to open up that LGI room door, where I was greeted by a bunch of older kids looking at me, wondering, no doubt, what is this tiny kid doing? Well, that was the beginning of what I could only imagine is still an unbroken record of 8 years in the Lincolnwood Junior High Band program. 8. I was fortunate that I had the tutelage of Mr. Rosenbluth for 5 years, and by the time I was in 6th grade, Mr. Rosenbluth had retired, and again I was met with great, tremendous fortune to have had Nancy Chiavetti Golden as band director. She brought in fresh ideas and fresh enthusiasm, and encouraged and challenged me musically, especially with the snare drum. This is where I could feel my hands develop by leaps and bounds on the instrument, and I'm eternally grateful for her guidance on that path, a path that served me well every day of my life since. I'm so grateful that there are so many teachers that made a difference or had an impact on me. And that's what teachers are supposed to do. And what teachers do matters. It shapes lives, and it's no small feat, no easy task. It is not to be taken for granted, it is to be celebrated. Every student in Lincolnwood was given a head start if they were wise enough to recognize that. But that being said, I must publicly apologize to Mrs. Steinberg, Mr. Dirks, and Mrs. Alford for making the task of teaching me mathematics truly impossible. I'm sure I drove them all in many 5 o'clock martinis, and I'm truly sorry. Speaking of martinis, I'd say that one of the coolest teachers to ever grace these halls had to be Mr. Robert Bolster. He had a command of his class. Yes. He had a command of his class like nothing I'd ever seen to this day. It could be bedlam in there. Kids screaming, going nuts, paper airplanes flying around. It's just like out of a movie. And he'd walk in and just say above a whisper, "Quiet, please." And everybody would stop on a dime, and he had a full attention. Those of you who know what I'm talking about, you know it was astounding. And being that he was so cool, I wanted to give him a cool end-of-the-year gift right before graduation from 8th grade. And somehow I chose a bottle of Tanqueray gin and brought it to school to give to him. Now remember, this is the days before seatbelts and helmets, right? So I gave him the gin, and he just simply said, thank you, but I like milk. So many great memories here. There was Holster's egg drop, Dr. Barton's leaf hunt, George Williams' college trip, the 8th grade Washington trip. So many great personalities. Terry Willison, Chuck Mount, Bobby DiNiccolo, Purdy Ferris, Monica Rogers, Fargesheimer, Jared Kulik. Holy smokes, man, that's only a few names, and it's already an embarrassment to riches. Well, fast forward after Niles West, which is its own chapter. I attended Berkeley College in East Boston for 1 year, and in that 1 year I was fortunate to have had 3 particular teachers that had a profound impact on me. I then ended up back home in Chicago and began to build my career based on 5 simple principles that could be adopted by anyone for anything. Number 1, always be on time. Always be on time. And as a matter of fact, be early. Number 2, be prepared for the job. Number 3, have the right tools for the job. Number 4, nail the job. Number 5, leave everybody happy that you were there. I always knew that if I handled my business like this, that one day I would end up in a room with someone like Sting. And that absolutely happened. If you're enthusiastic about something, no matter what it is, the word enthusiasm comes from the Greek entheos, which means the God within. And that tells me that's the universe's way of saying, you're right. You're right to spend your time on the drums, or saxophone, or painting, or whatever it is that you've fallen in love with. I never felt like I was wasting my time for 1 second working on music. It's a long story, of course, but I ended up recording with and then being asked to join Styx, a band that I saw live 3 times while I was a student here. It's now been an incredible and indescribable 23 years, and I'm fortunate to have a road family of wonderful people in my life, and I'm fortunate that I've been able to maintain a career doing what I've always wanted to do for over 4 decades now. It's been a thrill to have hosted many of my teachers as guests at Styx shows, and it was really sweet to have Margaret Johnson out the first time I played the Rosemont Horizon in 1996. It was the last time I saw her, but we loosely kept in touch. And a quick side note for those of you that knew Margaret Johnson. You know that she was a lifelong die-hard Cubs fan. Every year the Cubs came close from 84 on. I wanted it so badly, not for the city, not for us, but for her. And I'm so happy that she lived to see the 2016 season. When the Cubs won the World Series, I sent her a handwritten card that just said, you know, Mrs. Johnson, we finally did it. And about 2 weeks later, a box came to the house. A note, a card, just an authentic, official World Series championship Cubs hat. Well played, Mrs. Johnson. In my travels, there's been a couple of Lincolnwood coincidences. While on tour in England, when we were playing shows with Journey, I find myself at a hotel bar in Newcastle with John Barrett, Journey's manager. Turns out he's from Lincolnwood, and he grew up over here in Blunt. I come to find out that the biggest concert promoter in the southwest of the United States for years, Danny Zalesko, though from Niles originally, was the delivery boy for Bias Eggs. I would bet with confidence that he rang our doorbell at some point. I met Walter Verson during his long tenure as REO Speedwagon's tour manager, and he worked for Genesis and Queen back in the 1980s. And although Walter was from Skokie, his family's business was Austin Liquors. And if you went to Niles West in the 1980s, you may have been familiar with that relaxed establishment. Synchronism, coincidences, seemingly magical occurrences do happen all the time. Last summer, I had a wonderful visit from Skip Hayden, one of my dear teachers and mentors from Berkeley, when he came to our most recent show in Boston. We got into a conversation on this very topic of coincidences and magical occurrences. And he just said, Wonderland. It's a wonderland if you are open to it. I'm so fortunate that I've met, played with, and befriended many of my heroes, traveled with, been on bills with artists who were the radio of my youth and who still rule the radio waves worldwide. I fell in love with a woman who would become my wife. While in the service of our wildest dreams, performing with Brian Wilson, with his music as our soundtrack. So many of these things I couldn't have possibly imagined growing up here, just 2 blocks away. One more amazing thing took place just recently. While checking into the Hard Rock Hotel in Biloxi, Mississippi to play a show there the next day, I happened to know there's a full mannequin of me in an outfit that I wore in the Live 6 DVD there. But I turned and I noticed something by the front desk. Now, the very first rock poster I ever had on my wall was this poster of Elton John. And he was wearing this outlandish tangerine outfit with white feathers and rhinestones. And I mean, I thought it was cool in 1975, but Liberace wouldn't have worn this, you know. I thought it was amazing. But I look in this glass case, and there, in that very same glass case, is that exact same Elton John outfit from the very poster that was on my bedroom wall in a house that I grew up in, 100 feet from a glass case that held my comparatively tame outfit. How does that happen? It goes to show you that literally anything can happen. If you work hard, want it badly enough, author your own destiny, get a touch of luck, recognize a good card when it's dealt to you, play well with others, and put yourself in the pathway of opportunity, and leave everybody happy that you were there. Even though I haven't lived in Lincolnwood in 34 years, it's still home, and will always be home. And those of you who know me well know that I enjoy spreading the gospel of Lou Malnati's to the uninitiated all over the world. I'd like to conclude by thanking my dear, incredible mother for being here tonight, my amazing brothers, Paul and Joel, my spectacular, multi-talented wife, patient wife, Taylor, and our astounding daughter, Tegan. And thank you to all my teachers, all my old classmates, lifelong friends, and all of you attending here tonight. And my deepest thanks and gratitude to everyone from School District 74 for this honor. You have all done your part to prove, without a shadow of a doubt, that this is indeed Wonderland.
Thank you, everyone. That was Travis Stoya with me, and also an alumni that is now, she's now at Niles West, Sienna Plurad. Sienna, you want to wave where she is? yesterday or rehearsal, so just thank you, Sienna, for coming back for me. Thank you. We'd like to now give this plaque to Todd. Lincolnwood School District 74 presents this Distinguished Alumni Award to Todd Sucherman, class of 1983, in recognition of your outstanding professional achievements. Todd, thank you so much.